Scholars of the Asian American and Pacific Islanders community are criticizing the Justice Department's accusation that Yale discriminates against Asian American and white applicants, saying the move just pits racial minorities against each other while ignoring the larger problem of legacy admissions. The Justice Department said Thursday that Yale imposes undue and unlawful penalties on racially disfavored applicants, including Asian American and white applicants in particular. Their notice followed a 2-year investigation following complaints about admissions at Ivy League colleges. Yale President Peter Salovey denounced the allegation as baseless. A number of AAPI scholars have criticized the Justice Department for the move, saying they're using Asian Americans to create conflict among people of color. It's leveraging the model minority myth to undermine the opportunity to build a multiracial coalition in this country to dismantle racism, says Dona Kim Murphey, a former board member of the Korean American Association. According to Michael Lee, senior counsel at the Brennan Center for Justice, a nonpartisan public policy center that focuses on equal representation in government, the DOJ's accusation is ultimately messaging for white people. It's like, hey, if you're stuck at a job or not moving up the economic ladder, your income hasn't increased for decades, you can blame people of color and elites for keeping you out of schools like Yale, Lee said. That's just political messaging for November. Lee added that this messaging was in line with the Trump campaign stoking white resentment for people taking jobs and spots in schools. He said that, in addition to targeting white working-class resentment, the campaign seeks to promote white suburbanite resentment by talking about what schools children of white suburbanites get to go to. The message that this sends to the AAPI community is that the DOJ is very interested in dismantling policies that create diversity and increase access to those who have been excluded to places like Yale, said Janelle Wong, a professor of American Studies and Asian American Studies at the University of Maryland, who received her doctorate at Yale. Last year, a federal judge rejected students for fair admissions lawsuit that claimed Harvard discriminated against Asian Americans. Brooks Kraft Corbis via Getty ImagesMany selective private colleges use a holistic admissions process that accounts for each applicant's background, including their race. They also take into consideration a number of other factors, like legacy status. At Yale, only 5.8% of the entire student population identifies as Black. Less than 10% are Hispanic, and under 15% are Asian. 42.7% of the student body is white. The Justice Department's action against Yale resembles a recent case against Harvard University, which also took aim at affirmative action policies.